Today I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you apply diesel exhaust fluid to your lawn as a fertilizer. And I think you're going to be surprised at the results. For those of you that don't know what diesel exhaust fluid is, it's a solution that's injected into the exhaust stream of diesel vehicles to turn harmful emissions into nitrogen and water. This was implemented by manufacturers to meet EPA emission standards back in 2010. So in other words, this solution was mandated to be added to your diesel vehicles on top of the gas you already have to buy, which I'm sure made truck owners extremely happy.
This is the worst!
What most people don't realize though, is that diesel exhaust fluid is actually only composed of two ingredients, one being deionized water and the other being urea. And if you've watched any of my past videos, you know that I've used a ton of urea fertilizer on my lawn. Urea. Now for those of you who aren't familiar with urea, urea is a synthetic nitrogen-based fertilizer. It has a very high concentration of nitrogen, which is what helps plants grow. Urea provides a very quick release form of nitrogen, allowing for immediate plant uptake, which results in a rapid green up. And the best part of all is that it's the cheapest fertilizer you can buy, period. So let's break down the cost analysis of this diesel exhaust fluid fertilizer compared to other ferts. Now, just to set the record straight, diesel exhaust fluid is not the absolute cheapest way to buy nitrogen. 50-pound bags of granular pure urea takes the cake on that front. Here's an actual breakdown of the price per pound when it comes to granular urea versus diesel exhaust fluid. But as far as liquids go, DEF is by far the cheapest fertilizer you can buy in liquid form, and it's by a huge margin. So where can we buy DEF? Well, we have a couple of options. Number one is at your local Walmart. So back here in the automotive section of Walmart, you have two different options when it comes to diesel exhaust fluid. You have this blue DEF, which is $17.48 for 2.5 gallons, or you have the Walmart brand SuperTech for $9.98. Both of these DEFs have the exact same amount of nitrogen in them, so there's nothing different in them for our purposes. Definitely go with the cheaper brand if you're putting it down on your lawn. If you guys are wondering why I went with the blue DEF, I actually bought this because it looks better on camera and I wanted it for my thumbnail. No other reason. Now, if you want another option instead of going to your local Walmart, all you have to do is search your area for local gas stations that have DEF at the pump. And voila, you have unlimited diesel exhaust fluid at your fingertips. That's right, you can get fertilizer at the freaking pump. And right now, it's a little cheaper to get it at my local gas station compared to the cheap brand at Walmart. So if you have one of these near you, why not? This is seriously insane. I never thought I'd be able to go to a gas station and pump fertilizer. Just wild. Next, we need to figure out exactly how much diesel exhaust fluid we're going to need to put down to get the best results without the risk of burning our lawn. But first, let me interrupt the video very quickly to thank our sponsor, BetterHelp. I thought BetterHelp would be a great sponsor for the video because mental health has played a great role in my life. I'm not going to lie to you, working a full-time job, keeping up on the lawn, freelancing, running a YouTube channel, and trying to be a great father and husband all at the same time is beyond stressful. But luckily, there's services out there like BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you just go to their site. You can use my link here. Then you just answer a few questions. BetterHelp will then match you with a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or computer, video chat or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. You'll be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. Visit betterhelp.com/lawnlife or choose Lawn Life during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Now let's get back to the video. So now that we have our diesel exhaust fluid, we need to figure out how much we need to put down without the risk of burning our lawn. Because the urea is in liquid form, we're going to be applying it in a foliar application, which means we are putting it down directly on the leaves of the grass. With foliar applications, we are going to get very fast results compared to putting it down as a granulate. So the first thing we're going to need to do is figure out how much nitrogen is actually in diesel exhaust fluid, so we can figure out how much we need to put into our mix. Now, most people make the mistake of thinking that diesel exhaust fluid is 32.5% nitrogen because there's 32.5% urea in the solution. But that's actually incorrect because urea is only 46% nitrogen. So we need to actually multiply 32.5% by that 46% to get the actual amount. And that's gonna give us 15%. So the NPK of diesel exhaust fluid is actually a 1500 fertilizer at 15% nitrogen and no other nutrients. Today, we're gonna show you two different ways to apply the diesel exhaust fluid into your lawn. The first way we're going to show you today is with a backpack sprayer. When we put down nitrogen in a foliar application, we do not want to exceed 0.2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. If you apply more than that, you are starting to run the risk of burning your lawn. So after doing all the math, that's going to come out to right around 21 ounces of DEF fluid that you need to mix into 1 gallon of water per 1,000 square feet that you put on your lawn. Now, if you're a beginner, I would recommend putting down 10 or 11 ounces per 1,000 square feet until you get the hang of it, because you definitely don't want to burn your lawn the first time you do this. So just as an example, if you have a 3,000 square foot lawn to cover, you want to put down 63 ounces of DEF into 3 gallons of water and spray it evenly across your entire lawn. Now, this is very important. If you've never sprayed with a backpack sprayer before, you are going to want to make sure that you calibrate your sprayer before you start spraying this stuff. You want to end up with no liquid left in your sprayer by the time you get to the end of your lawn. So what you're going to want to do is practice a little bit with water in your tank until you figure out the right walking speed to have an empty tank by the time that you get to the end of your lawn. This is a 100% necessary step if you've never done this before. If this sounds intimidating, don't worry. We'll be showing you an easier way to apply this in a few moments. If you're worried about burn, you can definitely water it in right away, but just know that you won't get results as quickly because it will then have to be uptaken through the roots. Now, another way to apply this is through a hose end sprayer, which might be a little more beginner friendly. You're not going to get those super fast results like you do with a backpack sprayer, but this is definitely the more budget-friendly way of applying this if you don't have one. I'm not that familiar with hose end sprayers, so I'm going to let my buddy George explain how to do this. Take it away, George.
Hey, what's up, Jesse? One of the most common ways that people apply DEF is through a hose end sprayer. So today we're going to be using this orthodilane spray, which I'm sure a lot of you guys already have. And for this application, we're going to be applying the low rate of DEF, which is 10 ounces per 1,000 square feet. And that's going to equal 0.1 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. Now this is optional, but I like to add a little bit of water here in the tank as well. And if you've never used one of these orthodilane sprayers before, what I recommend is you put it on the 2 ounces per gallon setting. Now the goal here is to try to apply this tank as evenly as possible across this whole area of lawn. And odds are you're going to have some fertilizer left in the tank because we put it on such a low setting. But if that's the case, all you want to do is just keep on going over your lawn multiple times until that tank is emptied. And that's going to ensure not only do you use too much fertilizer, but that you get an even coverage as well. I hope I was able to help you guys out a little bit. Jesse, thank you so much for having me on. George out. Peace.
You're the man, George. I appreciate you doing that segment. And I'm not joking when I say this. George has one of the best channels on YouTube when it comes to lawn care, hands down. So if you haven't subscribed to him yet, definitely go over there and check him out. I appreciate you, bro. So I measured out a little over 300 square feet to put down our diesel exhaust fluid in this test area. Now, I've been purposely neglecting this side of my lawn just for this video so we can actually see what happens when we put the urea down. So here are the results of my test plot using DEF as a fertilizer. And I have to say, they're pretty dang good. Now, I want to be completely transparent with you guys and let you know that these results are from about 8 days ago with 2 separate applications. The day I applied the first application, it was crazy windy out while we were filming, and I think I lost a lot of product due to drift. So after 4 days or so, I applied another application so we could see the results a little better on camera. Now, DEF would be a great product to spoon feed your lawn every 1 or 2 weeks in the summer. Another product that really surprised me with its dark green results during midsummer is in this video right here. Definitely click on it to find out what it is. Now get off my lawn.